back for another episode of High Performance Garage Podcast. This episode is sponsored by GMR Skidders. On today's episode, we've travelled all the way down to Leeton to meet the main man, Mr. Jared. How are we, sir?
Good, mate. How was your drive?
Oh, mate, it was bloody long and cold.
Last night would have been freezing.
It was freezing.
Yeah.
Mate, tell us a bit about yourself.
I'm Jared, 33, from Leeton, New South Wales. Do a bit of work on cars, other people's cars, help people with, I suppose, their cars, trying to get them going and stuff. I'm the owner of CITGO. A lot of people keep asking me the name. They think it's like CITGO or things like that. It's a bit weird, like, oh, did you see CITGO do a burnout? But no, it's called CITGO. Mm-hmm. It's a 383 9-to-1 comp AVR engine from Griffith, Jacob put together. The blower shop, 871, big and ugly.
Oh, yeah. Nice
should be pretty good.
Setup.
Yeah. Ironing out all the little issues.
Yeah. Mate, what got you into cars?
Everything, I suppose.
Yeah.
Growing up, we were at the skate park a lot, and sort of obviously we couldn't do our own cars because we were so young, but you'd see like all the older boys, they'd have like VNSSs and like Frankie Giovinazzo is a highlight of that. Like he had an Atlas Grey VNSS 5-speed and it got a fucking flogging, eh? Like it was just like someone got it for $50 and just everywhere it went, it was like limiter. Like you heard it all through town sort of thing. And like a few of the other boys, like it was just always big cars, big money. Like all the people that we look up to now sort of thing are gone.
Yeah.
Not gone, but they're not into cars anymore. But there's still a few stragglers that are in the scene. Like, I can't really name them off the top of my head, to be quite honest. I only remember the cars I used to drive. But then you've got like the next group of people which were in our class, so like Kyle Hardy, Crazy, Josh Rendell, like they're all from young as well. Like, so I wasn't fortunate to be like I had money at the time, like when I was a kid and that, but I was just too worried about doing other shit, like go with the boys, have parties, you know, all that sort of thing. Like I just wanted to be, I don't know, a rat, I suppose, not really, but like just run around and just, you know, get pissed with the lads and don't want to worry about nothing else but girls and partying and that. Yeah. And then sort of now at this point in time, like in my life, like I've sort of, you know, been able to start building something. Like I've always wanted to. Yeah. Like I've had nice cars, don't get me wrong. I've like had hundreds of nice cars, like VL turbos and things like that, and XR6 turbos and all that. But yeah, just watching the boys like Selly with Convict. Yeah. So my main memory of like wanting cars is his cousin Damo. Mm-hmm. Younger, like when we were younger, he had like VKs, like they were always off their head. Like there was. Like I think he had a red one and then he had a white Director, and when it drove past him, mate, it was just fucking like
rattle your chest.
Oh, mate. It was bullshit. Like it was off. Like it was mad. But yeah, that's sort of what got us into cars. But like just growing up in a town where it was just always pushed in to your mind, like, you know, always got to be better, always got to have like, you know. And growing up and stuff, we went through, like all of us boys, like we done, you know, it was called the 8 Mile. Believe it or not, like that's what they called it. But like every night, someone would be like pissing someone off or joking about it or whatever, and we'd go and get like whatever car we had. Like I had EL Falcons, VNs, VSs, all that sort of thing, and then you'd have all the other boys that G each other up, and you'd go out and race. Yeah, right. And like it's it wasn't really burnouts like when we were kids. Like this is 20 years ago nearly. Yeah. So.
Yeah, big difference from then to now. Yeah.
So like it was sort of like we'd go out and do rallying and things like that, and then like he'd get the odd night where you'd go out and there'd be like 6 or 8 people that want to race each other, and it'd be like you'd race and you'd watch the top of the hill sort of thing, and like you wait for the cars to come. You might be out there half an hour before you get a run, like because you're on the main road, and once you didn't hear cars coming for ages, man, it was like just run after run after run. Like it was great. Yeah.
Mate, do you remember what your first car was?
I can't remember, like, exactly the first car.
Yep.
But I think it was a VR Commodore. Mm-hmm. Like, actual, like, was mine.
Yeah.
VR, a claim, and it was actually my grandmother and grandfather's car. It was just a 6-cylinder.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's my first car, I'm pretty sure, yeah.
Do you reckon that was the stepping stone of getting into cars for you?
No.
No?
My second car, I reckon, was. Like, I never actually got my licence till I was 18.
Okay, yeah.
Like, I was just a fuckhead. Like, driving unregistered cars or whatever, and, you know, sort of things like I had heaps of cars in between this. Like, don't get me wrong, so, like, I don't class, like, a rally basher or something like that as your car. Like, you know what I mean? Or, so I had heaps in between, and then I ended up with a EF or EL Falcon off my old man. And that was, like, it was, for what we had, like, as I said, like, this was when the V8 rule came in, so you couldn't drive a 5 litre or nothing on your P's. And, so, like, out of all the 6 cylinders and stuff, like, we'd race all the time. My one was one of the quicker shit boxes. Like, it was an absolute shit box, I can tell you that right now. But it was fast. Like, I put, like, 5 gearboxes in it. Like, it was just a car that sort of, it got me in a lot of trouble. Like, but what do you do?
Just keep on going, don't stop, mate.
No, we're not in Sydney. We can't run away from there's one cop and he'll drive home to your house first.
Mate, what was the start for you to get into skids?
I don't know. Like, I always, as I said, it wasn't the fact that I wasn't in skids. It was the fact that at the point in time and everything like that, I just wasn't really into it. Like, I was into it, but like, I had a lot of street cars. It wasn't the fact that I wasn't into burnouts and that I didn't want to do burnouts. It was the fact that I just enjoyed driving around with the boys a bit. Once I first started buying, you know, different cars and all that sort of things, like, I've had shitloads of 5 litres and LSs and all that sort of thing. But I guess what got me into actually doing normal burnouts is just, I just want to go to summer nuts, I suppose. But, like, I've always wanted to go. And still then, only 3 years ago was the first time I'd actually entered a car.
Yeah, right, okay.
Like, in summer nuts. Because, like, a lot of people aren't educated and they sort of don't get the education on how to even get a car ready or, like, anything for an event. So, like, it's sort of a stepping stone that people don't know. So, like, if you've got a group of people that have no idea and you showed them the idea, they might want to go to an event.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, like, I didn't really know how to approach the right people, or wasn't really in a circle where I could have been like, oh, how do you do this? You know what I mean? But it just, I went out to here, I bought a VE SSV sedan. Funnily enough, it was still neat, had a 90,000 Ks on it. Matty Clofier's got that now, I think it's his paddock basher. I've got that, took it out, sort of got the bug. Like, and I've had no luck, Like, 2 or 3 cars I've had luck with, but that car was fun, but I could not get it to do what I wanted it to do. It was just, like, too heavy or whatever. Like, a manual skid car's not ideal either. Like, then I had, I think it was a VY wagon maybe, the LS tunnel ram. That got me more interested because it was actually reliable, and then I scrapped it for some stupid reason. I don't know why. Probably due to smashed the rear quarters on Australia Day. One time I put light truck tyres on it. The boys G'd us up when we were pissed and that, and we done a static, and when the tyres popped, it actually folded the rear quarter nearly to the window. So the next day we pulled the motor out of it and off it went. So
God, mate.
Then the next one was the Datsun. I think. Datsun with the EFI setup. Had nothing but dramas. Went carby, nothing but dramas. Got over it because it was too small. I got 2 skids out of it properly. Come in real hot one time, and it lifted, like, both front wheels off the ground. Like, it nearly, because it was tubbed, it sort of nearly went over.
Where was this at?
Leeton.
Leeton? Yep.
Yeah, there is a video somewhere. I'll see if I can find the short so you can actually
Yeah.
like chuck it in there. you'll be able to see, like it was mid-skid, wheels spinning, and sort of, that was enough for me, eh? Like, I'm a big lad. If the roof comes down on me, they've got to cut me out, you know what I mean? Like in a 120Y, but yeah, we went from that to a VU that had the same engine in it. So this is, meanwhile, right, 3 burnout cars that I've owned have all had the same engine until this ate it. So the VU had the same engine as the Datsun.
Yep.
Then we took it to Nan's birthday, 2018, right?
Yep.
The radiator broke. It was piss and rain, and we were allowed to just do what we wanted pretty much. Like we were trying to drive the track, drifting around and doing things like that. And then it last skid, still had no coolant in it. It didn't break down or nothing because it was MSD carby, so it was just, I don't know why, it just didn't overheat. But last skid, it shut off at 7,000 RPM and wouldn't turn back on. And then I tried starting it and smoke was just coming out of the filters. And we took it back down and bent every rod. So I put it in the shop, got it rebuilt, put a little bit of good shit in it, and the pump just destroyed it. Yeah. Summonats. I don't know whether it was a combination of cylinder pressure or too much fuel or whatever, but pushed the cylinder out. So.
Lovely, mate.
Yeah, it was good.
Mate, how do you find the burnout scene for yourself?
It's pretty good. It's toxic at the same time.
Yep.
If anyone tells you it's not, that's a joke. It's a good place in view, if I can say it like that. So while everyone's watching, it's a good thing, but there is a lot of negativity in the sport. Well, it's not really. It's a sport, but it's not really a sport, because unless you have decent money or the right people or the right viewers behind you, you sort of get nowhere.
Yeah.
Like, there's better drivers than what's in the public eye, in my opinion, that never get put on the pedestal.
Yeah.
Like, there might be a bloke, he sort of doesn't get to every event or whatever, but wherever he goes, and he's in this, it might be in the same class as these people, never gets put in the right spot on the podium or whatever. I don't know whether it's not favoritism or anything. It might just be because the car doesn't look as nice or things like that. But that's just, I don't know, that's the way I see it. Not saying that it's corrupt or anything. It's just the fact that a nice car looks nice in a video. A shit car is never going to look good in a video, sort of thing. And it's probably, it's down to some people's media too, what ones they video all the time.
Yeah.
You know, if, say, your car, right? Not saying that it's not known or whatever like that, but if it doesn't get videoed, no one knows you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And if the person behind the camera doesn't like or doesn't know the person, that doesn't get posted. You know what I'm saying? So they don't get in the eye. But yeah, there is a lot of better drivers out there, but they just don't get recognition for it. So sort of the burnout scene for me is a good thing. It's fun.
Yeah.
It lets people get their emotions out and things like that, and they go and have fun with the boys and that. But at the moment, it's that competitive that it doesn't matter if you're in an AU, there's hate. It doesn't matter if you're in a blown HK with fucking 1,400, 1,500 horsepower. It doesn't matter what you drive, someone still hates you.
Yeah.
So the little guy or the guy that's been in the sport for 20 years gets hate no matter what. What do you do?
Yeah. Do you reckon there's a way that we could possibly change that?
No.
No.
Same as every sport.
Yeah.
You play football, just because old mate runs faster, he's on steroids.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You're in boxing, old mate's bigger, he's on steroids. You know, it's the same sort of sport. It's the same sort of thing in every sport. And it's not really a money sport anymore. Because everyone's sort of getting to the point where, even the fellas that are in my group, I'll help them build an engine. Where say 3 or 4 of your mates don't know anyone. Who are they going to get to help them? No, they've got to pay 8-9 grand to get a motor built at the shop. Yeah. We're sort of the lads that have been doing it for a while can be all right, go buy $1,000 motor, mate, and we'll whack it together and we'll get in the car.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
that's a lot of the boys are starting to become that way, and it helps them into the sport because they've already been in the shit position before.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, and you've probably got, like, if you're like me, I've got like 11 motors laying around that have got holes in them, and fucking you just take shit out of them. Like,
Yeah.
You know.
There's a lot of knowledge in the sport as well.
There is a lot, but there's also a lot of false information. Like, you can go and ask a person one thing, they'll tell you the wrong answer twice.
Yeah.
And then it's hard to explain. If they don't want you to be better than them, they're not going to let you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Understandable, mate.
Yeah.
With judging, mate, do you reckon we should have live judging?
I think so.
Yeah.
But not so live. I reckon each round. So, like, I believe it could cause shit at the same time. Like, this comes back to a popularity contest where it's you go with your missus to the burnouts or whatever, right?
Yeah.
And I go with fucking 20 of my mates.
Yeah.
They're all in the crowd. You do a better burnout than me, but they didn't think so.
Yeah.
What's that going to cause?
Yeah.
Instantly, what's that going to cause? Like, say you skid, then I skid straight after you.
Yeah.
The scores go straight up, and they're like, "But old mate done a shit skid." You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, I get you.
That's sort of where, like, it would be a really good thing.
Yeah.
But segmented, like, so say 15, 20 cars go out.
Yep.
The scores go up for that round.
Yeah.
Not instantly, because at the same time of it being good, it could be, as I said, a negative thing.
Yep.
And it could, like, it's not so much, what would you say?
No, it's great to hear your
It's
view
not
as
negative,
well.
but it's sort of a, everyone has their opinion. Like, I've gotten messages because of, like, the way we run comps or whatever. I've had people message me after the show, "Oh, why didn't old mate win?" Well, like, I'm not going to say exactly how it happened or whatever, but, well, you tapped the wall, mate. No, I didn't. Well, the 3 judges that I pay to come and judge the show all seen you tap the wall.
Yeah.
I can't say that their judgment's wrong based on you telling me that. You know what I mean? Like, it don't matter whether it's a little tap or a tap. You know what I mean? Like, but that's the sort of thing. Like, it's.
Yeah, I get it, mate. Yeah, no, it's great to hear your view. Then, hopefully we can, get.
I'd like to see the sport go a lot further. Like, it's already advanced more than it ever has. It doesn't matter whether you're into cars or not, or into burnouts or not. Like, some of the cars that are doing burnouts are better than some of the cars that you see on the street at most car shows, like, for cleanliness and that, like, and looked after more. You know, like, who spends 60, 70 grand on a body to hit a wall at 80 k's an hour?
Yeah.
Idiots. Do you know what I mean? Idiots. Like,
for a skid car.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like,
3 minutes
people
worth
go and like dream their whole life, "Oh, I'm going to buy a VK Commodore or a VL or something nice, Tirana, whatever, doesn't matter." And they go to a burnout show and they're like, "Oh, why are they wrecking it?" Well, because this is what we live for. We don't get out of bed and go, "Righto, we're going to go buy a soccer ball today and we're going to kick it at a net all day," do we? No, we're going to go and buy the things we like and do what we want to do with them.
Yeah.
Like, it's just.
Hey, what would be your favourite event? As a spectator, let's do spectator.
Spectator first.
Yeah, spectator.
Summer Nats.
Summer Nats,
Yeah. Just because it doesn't matter what you're doing, doesn't matter where you look,
It's action.
there's something happening.
Yeah.
Whether it's the tyres getting destroyed on, like, the skid row.
Yeah.
You go through the hall, you can have a look at something nice.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's stuff for sale. Like, if you bought one thing from every stall the whole way around there, I reckon you'd need 20 grand. And that's, like, people, like the actual stalls, like a drink, like, there's that much there going on. Yeah. There's, like, kids things, like.
You need to go for the full 4 days to actually see everything.
Well, I camp.
Yeah.
I didn't for years, but, like, obviously now being an entrant, I camp. But you've got, like, it's just bullshit everywhere you look, and everyone talks to you. Like, well, not everyone, but, like, if you're walking past someone, like at a stall or whatever, they talk to you. Like you're not walking up to people that are arrogant. Like it's a good environment to be in. It doesn't look like it because of all the social media shit. Like what you see on people's cameras, like the fights from last year or this year or whatever, we were literally, man, like probably 40 metres from where our camp is and didn't see any of it. Like it's at the shopping centre thing there.
Yeah.
Didn't hear any of it, didn't see it, didn't do nothing until I looked on my phone, like hours later, and then you seen it. Like, unless you're right in on the stuff, sort of, you don't see anything.
Yeah, social media is such a powerful thing as well.
Well, see, that comes down to like someone filming a butterfly here and someone filming a fight over there.
Yeah.
The environment's the same, but it's two different views. You know what I mean? So, there's the negative videos that throw you off, but definitely look at the positive ones because it's a great show. I love it.
Yeah.
Like we take the kids. Like,
have a good time, mate. Take the family.
Yeah, definitely. It's still good for family. Like one of my mates didn't go for years because he thought it was shit. Like because the kids see that side of it and that.
Yeah.
And, he came with us and he's like, it's not even bad. Like he's the same as me. You don't even see it.
It's changed a lot.
It has, yeah.
Changed a lot.
It's not a very negative show anymore. Like people going about, the girls getting their kit off or whatever, and it's not. I don't think I've seen one pair of titties the whole time I've been there. Like only on videos after.
I think my first Summer Nuts was like 2012.
Yeah.
From then to now, man, it has changed.
Yeah. I don't know who I don't know who the security is this year, but I hope it's good.
Yeah, they've been through a couple of security guards now. They did have a good bunch before, but they moved them on. Then they went to...
so that same big fella, like the manager, he's been there for years, but I don't know. So obviously he's the team for Summer Nuts, and then they hire a crew to go under him. But he's not too bad if you're not a dickhead. Yeah. Like I've lit it up or whatever, and he's like, oi. But you light it up in front of the wrong person, it's gone. Yeah.
What's your favourite event being an entrant?
That's hard. I went to Loose Fest.
Yep.
With
That's
one of the
Victoria,
boys.
Isn't it?
Yeah. It's a vibe. I wish I had my own car there, but still had a killer time. We're driving another fella's car. We both had a blast. The pad is huge, but for anything on the there's no caliber but brush nuts. I'm telling you, like it is insane. Like there's nothing else. Like I don't know if it was just because of my first experience there by the fire, but getting out of the car at the end of the skid and the crowd is just like nothing else, man. Like it's everything you dream for. Yeah. Like when you get out of the car and the whole crowd is literally screaming your name. Yeah. That is something else, I'm telling you.
Yeah, that could be. Yeah. Mate, let's talk a little bit about. Tell us when you're in the car, you're about to go out, mate. What's the feelings? What's going through your head?
All right.
Is you've got a hell of a thing to look out the front window at.
Yeah. Even when that wasn't there. When you're a little kid and a big kid comes up to you at school and wants to fight you, you know the nerves you get then?
Yeah, unfortunately, yeah.
I was one of them. So the nerves you get then, and then the nerves the first time you sort of ran out on the footy field, nothing. That's nothing. Yeah. Like when the expectation, as I said, in both classes, when I had the VP with the tunnel ram, that's still nervous. But when the expectation is huge, when you obviously you've got a blown car, the expectation's completely different. You're nervous. Is it going to break? Is it going to stutter? And then the moment you hit the throttle, it's sort of, all right, no one's even here.
It goes quiet.
It's weird. Yeah, it's not so quiet, but it's just there's not a single person that matters. Yeah,
you're out there doing your thing.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. It's literally, there's no words for it. But then when you finish, you're
when you hear that
look at the person in the passenger seat and you're like, was that any good? You know what I mean? And they're like, I don't know. You got to wait for the videos or whatever, and then you're like, did I hit anything? They're like, no.
Mate, what's that feeling of when you hear that first tyre pop?
Success, I suppose, and then you're just hoping the other one
Other one goes.
doesn't have heaps left. Like, that's happened. Like, I've driven off the pad a couple of times with one tyre sort of still on. You know, like you get too excited. You're like, yes! Like, it feels like, because the tyre pops so hard or whatever, it feels like, yeah, done, both success. Like, it sounded like it went off at the same time, but no. Yeah. But that feeling of, I don't know, it's just, success, I suppose. You spend a lot of money to do it, and it's no, nothing else. Like, but the best part is, right, when you get the tyres off, the oil pressure's there, right? That's sick. The rods are still in their spot.
Temperature gauge is still...
Temperature gauge is still at like, 80, and you're just like, all right, now it's time to party.
Yeah.
Let's put on a show. The rim bash is like, that's the business.
Mate, what's the adrenaline at the end of it? You know, pop the tyres, driving off the pad, giving it everything she has. What's going through you?
It sort of deletes all of the hours in the shed. They're gone. That's just gone. The hours in the shed don't matter anymore.
Yeah.
All the negativity, all the thoughts, all the little bits and pieces that you've like doubted or whatever, like you put these things together and you're like, oh yeah, it's gonna work. You know what I mean? Like, that's what you think, and you take it out and you break it and you're like, oh, for fuck's sake. Yeah. But the moment you drive off the pad with everything still going, it's just something else. Like, you can't even explain it. You're like, success. It doesn't even matter if it rod knocks when you get to the pit. Or it makes a noise when you get to the pit. As long as you drove it off the pad, it doesn't matter.
Yeah,
like,
2 tyres off.
I'll fix it again, who cares? Like, at this point in time, like, I've done a lot of motors, and you're just like, oh, well, what do you do?
Yeah.
But as I'm saying, like, once success happens, it's just like all of the negative gone.
The emotion
comes out. Like, when I got the first set of tyres off this, like, it just, it was emotional. Like, it was a big deal. Like, from doing 4 stock bottom ends because of trying to push that, like, 730 horsepower out of a stock bottom end. Like, I was just pushing limits of stock stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, we were just seeing how long we could make it work, and we still can't even explain what happened to one of the pistons. Like, it broke in half. It was brand new, like aftermarket piston. It just snapped in half. But what do you do? Like, the rods were all good. It's never been. I've never broken a rod. It's always been a piston. So whether it's just cylinder pressure or something like that, what do you do? But as I said, you can't spin them and make 730 horsepower on stock bottoms and not break shit. You know what I mean? But I was just trying to be different. And see if I could make it work. Even if it worked for like 4 or 5 burnouts, it would have been good. Yeah. But I kept breaking them early.
Mate, what's the future plans for CITGO?
It's got a 383 in it now, as I spoke about before.
Yep.
We'll keep it going with that for hopefully a season. Like, I'm pretty optimistic. Like, it's screwed together really well. We're just having dramas with stuff on the outside. So Nan's birthday come in. Catch cans are in a bit of an odd position.
Okay.
So driver's side one was a little too close to the header. It heated it up, and the mist lit on fire.
Okay, yep.
So that's what the fire was. So just little things like that. Like, it's just placement of some things.
That's when you were tandeming with the VL, wasn't it?
Yeah, with Slapper,
Yeah.
So we done a quick little tandem to open the show, and the catch can lit on fire. Yeah. What do? You know what I mean? It was probably running a little bit fat, being a freezing cold morning. Yeah. Trying to warm it up and whatever else. Obviously, AFI is a little bit different. You can't just tell it what to do. Once we sort out them few little niggly things, like just moving a hose here and there, I've nearly got it to the point where I won't have to worry as much. And if something goes wrong, it's out of my control. You know, like, I've only been doing half a burnout here, half a burnout there, just to try and make it perfect. But after that, so the idea, we'll leave this motor in for a while. Then if I don't break it, it'll go in a street car.
Okay.
Being an aluminium 383, we'll probably put a Harrop on it or something like that. It'll go in a street car. Yeah. So
cranky bit of
useless NA, like it's 9-1, like 9-1 comp.
Yeah.
It'll probably make 200 horsepower, like with pump fuel or whatever. But so we'll pull this out and put a dart in it.
Okay.
That's the idea.
Yeah.
Probably be 388 and then go dry some.
Yeah, we could.
Yeah.
Good stuff, man. Mate, what's the comps coming up for you? What's your next comp?
Well, I'm hoping that I can get all my ducks in a line. We want to go down to Bairnsdale to see that off. Mm-hmm. I'm not going to go to the last event they're having. So they've got 3 more events, which is July, last weekend of July, last weekend of August. We're going to try and get there. Okay. I'm trying to organise like a heap of our local boys and a few people from elsewhere to convoy down, because obviously it's on the south coast of...
and travelling in a group is way better.
Oh yeah, you pull up and all have a feed or whatever. You can, if anyone breaks down, at least there's sort of, you can tow the trailer somewhere and pay to leave it there if it's broken or whatever, you know.
Best thing is you're on the walkie-talkie.
Yeah,
anything happens.
Yeah, it's very handy. Even if you're only half an hour apart, like if you leave half an hour within each other, like it's sort of helpful because you know you're not alone. Like if driving somewhere alone is just shit. Like
it is.
It doesn't matter how reliable your car is, something can happen. So yeah, we're looking at going down there 31st August, I think that show is.
Yep.
Then I've got Thrasher Nats.
Yep. That's out at Wagga Wagga, isn't it? Yep.
Go over there. So that's actually probably one of my other favourite shows.
Yep.
Just the environment, you sort of don't get to see a lot of the people that you see there. So it's like, I like catching up at shows with the people that come from heaps far away.
Yeah. And
most of the time, it's only a few events of the year that you actually get to catch up with these people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Some you don't get to see at all.
No, well, you might only see them at Summer Nats.
Yeah.
Which is once a year, and they're from like 12, 13 hours away. And what do you do?
Yeah.
You're not going to, like, unless you're going that way, you're not going to see them.
Yeah.
You ring them on the phone or whatever. So yeah, we've got that. So that's a Friday and Saturday event. That'd be pretty cool. Mm-hmm. Last year was this car's first ever burnout there, and I broke it. I actually had what was that? It was a LS with some pretty good gear in it. Like it ended up making like 590 horsepower LS1 on the engine dyno. It was pretty stout, that thing. I think it was like 590. It might have been, I don't know, something like that. Yeah. It was nearly 600 horsepower or something. And then snapped the gearbox in half. That was pretty
lovely. There's a lot of that
The
happening.
pump exploded in the gearbox. Yeah. So like nothing else broke really, but you can see like when I pulled it apart, the pump in the box done something and it snapped, like it pushed the top, you know, like in the front of the box, pushed the top of the bell housing.
Yeah, I get you.
Like
you mean.
that.
Yeah.
And it snapped upwards.
Yeah.
Yeah. Never seen it before. So
solid job, man.
yeah, I think Coddy's done the same thing.
Yeah.
Maybe with Tony last time it blew up. I'm not sure what happened there, but it looked like same sort of thing. It looked like maybe the pump exploded or something because it was at the front of the box. Like not much else can happen, sort of thing. But it snapped in half. But yeah.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Mate, we've said a couple of things. What's top to bottom combo of the old girl?
All right, so it's a EFI, big and ugly, TBS blower, Holly high ram with a Joe adapter. It's got the AVR high covers, the billet ones. It's I think they're Cowie ported the heads. They're good stainless valves. It's got bullet pistons. Can't remember the rods. They're good.
They're good.
They're good. Steel 4-inch crank.
Yep.
It's just aluminium 383 stroker.
Man. We're going to the driveline, mate. What gearbox?
So I was fortunate enough. I'd actually bought a lot of stuff off Pete from Sydney Speed Suppliers, and he sponsored us one of his 2,500 horsepower billet turbo 400s.
Beautiful.
Yeah, so they retail I think 13 grand without a stallie or anything. and that's the if you were to buy the same equivalent in a Reed gearbox or anything like that, they're like 25 grand. So, 20 to 25 grand. But yeah, Pete looked after me, give me that. I put a transmission specialties. I think it's like a 3600 stall.
Yep.
One of the boys, Marty, made the tail shaft.
One piece, two piece?
Two piece.
Two piece, yeah.
Don't like one piece.
Yep.
It just doesn't go right. When shit breaks, it breaks. You know what I mean? Like,
Yep.
unfortunately, some people break gearboxes and things because of one pieces, and they don't understand why. But it's because they buck differently. Like a lot of people get away with it. Like they get set up right, but if you don't know what you're doing,
it can
go terrible. Very wrong. And in saying that, I'd hate to break this gearbox because of the tail shaft.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I just go two piece, but it's got just a Borg Warner 28 spline, VP diff in it at the moment.
Yep. Diff gears, mate.
308.
308.
So it's doing about 280, 290.
Yep.
Top gear limiter. I'm thinking about. I'm just talking to the boys at the moment. Don't know whether to change it to 2.7s.
Yep.
Just because of tyre time, like how fast they come off or whatever. Because it's still fairly light.
Yeah.
It's taken a little bit longer to get the tyres off.
Yeah, and you've been playing around with tyre styles, as you said before.
Yeah. So I went 17s, 16s, 15s.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter which ones. It's still a little bit too long.
Yeah.
Like on a tyre. So we're looking at different ways. I just don't want to put any more weight in it.
Yeah.
Like it feels good to drive at the moment. So like I wouldn't want to make it so it's a little bit, I don't know. It doesn't want to do what it's told, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, you've already got it mostly dialed in.
I like it the way it is. It's just starting to become, like I've only driven it for probably 5 minutes in total.
Yeah.
So like, you can't really say that I know what it drives like too much yet, but the way that it drives at the moment is just, it's sort of wherever I put it, it wants to be.
Beautiful.
But yeah, I don't want to make it too much heavier.
Mate, to date, what's your favourite memory in it?
In this?
Yeah.
Fuck, probably made me cry. That was a hard one. Just give me a minute. Be just me pop taking me fishing.
Yeah. Nice, man. Sentimental.
Yeah.
Fuck.
But yeah, we'll talk about the motor.
Yeah, mate.
Yeah, it's a pretty sentimental build, this. So
Yeah,
yeah,
mate. Nice. Yeah, you said that Pop bought it brand new. Yeah.
Straight off the floor. And the first time they actually drove it, him and my old man were being dickheads in it doing burnouts, eh? It had no tray on it. So it was V6 auto.
Yeah. What, the Alutech?
No. So this had that, you know, the Buick with the weird top on it?
Yeah.
Like it's not a Buick, but they call them a Buick. It had one of those in it, man. I used to grab, I've actually got a video. I'll post it to you so you can put it there. Just there. Top Gear. Used to grab Top Gear with the V6. Yeah, it was mad. One time we were doing a burnout and I had the handbrake on. I was like, why is this thing being a piece of shit? Yeah. And I put the handbrake down. It was like letting the stoolie off. It was just, But yeah, we'll get back to this motor behind me anyway. Yeah. So we decided, me and a couple of the boys the other day, that we're going to change a few things. I want to have, it won't be 3 cars, but it will be 3 cars. So Tapped is being reshelled. Yep. We're doing something completely different with it. I won't really talk too much about it, but I want to do...
But she's coming back.
It will be back. It's going to be stupid. I want to do a lot of things with it. So it's going like a strange 9-inch setup in the back, things like that. I want to do more than one sport. I want to go and do a little bit of drag racing, drag challenge, but still try and keep it registered.
Oh yeah, okay,
yeah. Sort of. But yeah, I want to be able to like drive at places.
Yeah.
So like say we want to go to Heathcote for the weekend. Yes, we'll still probably have the trailer behind the tow car and the family will still come, but I would really like to drive one car that I own to a comp Even we go, like Heathcote's only a couple of hours away, so you go do a burnout or whatever, or you take it down the drag strip, whatever, doesn't matter, drive it home. Well, you probably put it on the trailer after you kicked its ass, to be fair. Yeah. But Travis Miller does it with his thing.
Yeah, he's got a
Shite.
white VS.
Yeah, white VS, yeah.
Yeah, that thing's cranky.
Yeah, he had a VN for years, but he bloody, he's got the VS or VR or whatever, it's beautiful.
That was Hatred, wasn't it?
Hatred, yeah.
Yeah,
it's pretty cool.
That's LS3 in that VS.
Is it?
I think it's LS3. I read something about it. I think it's LS3.
I don't know.
Cranky bit of gear.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. Don't know. But yeah. So yeah, we're doing another car just to sort of compete against the NA cars, I suppose.
Yeah, we could.
Yeah, so it'll be something different. Like the other boys obviously have their cars, but like I don't want to wreck their shit.
Yeah.
Like they'll let me drive or whatever. Like, but I don't want to.
Yeah, you want to keep your own.
Just something I can pull out and just
party.
Yeah, that's it.
Also, buddy, you're also the runner of Burnout Mayhem.
Yeah, me and a few boys. Yeah, like I obviously am the promoter. Like I'm the one that everyone comes to for it all. Leeton Motorsports Club, we sort of put it all together, and me and Guy Tuckett actually. I don't know if you've met him, but he has Nan's Dream.
You're
going to do a podcast with him, I think, later on. Hopefully.
Yeah, we'll be coming back down to do
if you can work it all out. He didn't know that you were coming this weekend, and they went away.
He said that he's down in Victoria.
Yeah, they went to do some cool stuff.
Yeah, man. Let's you want to jump over out to the pad and we'll talk a bit more about it.
Yeah, that's for sure.
See you at Leeton Motorsport Park.
Brobner Raceway. Just say Brobner. Yep, just say it like that. Don't say Brobner, just Brobner. Brobner Raceway.
We
out here there, Brobner Raceway.
I'm going to leave this bit in.
Are you leaving it in?
I'm going to leave this in here. I'm not going to be able to pronounce that.
All right, so we're at Brobner Raceway, Leeton, New South Wales, Leeton Motorsports Club.
What he said. All right, guys, we're out here at Brobner Raceway in Leeton. Mate, let's talk a little bit about Burnout Mayhem and running an event.
Well, this year, or next year rather, February 14th and 15th, we're going to do Burnout Mayhem 4.
Yep.
And as you know, well, you've looked into a few things. You want to do a couple of events later on down the track. There is a fair bit to running them. Mm-hmm. Obviously, you've got to have a lot of people. That you can't just do it by yourself. So as a club, we have a go together. There's a fairly broad network of people that help. Scrutineers, clerk, of course. Like we get the local rescue squad, which is they're of great value to us. Like they come out and sit here all day. They don't have to. Yeah. But the boys, they love the sport too. Like they take turns. I don't know whether they argue or flip a coin or whatever, but there's always a different bloke that sort of comes in each crew, you know what I mean? But generally the same sort of blokes every single time. But yeah, you've got obviously the background sort of things. You've got the girls, they do a fair bit of work organising what you can't see. So during the day, like they'll be running around making sure people actually have their bands on their arm, like a sort of thing before they come out. We've got people checking, obviously alcohol and things like that, and all that. Like it's a hard thing to monitor and police because you're only one person.
Yeah, you need a team.
Yeah, so I suppose without the team you can't get it done. But usually, like it's the main two people is me and Guy.
Tuckett, isn't it?
Yeah, Guy Tuckett. We sort of have we're the blokes that do the permit and all that sort of thing, and then we've got Chevy, Wooly, Brock, Kyle, Craig Willis. He does like a fair bit of stuff in the pits. I'll give him a list of things and he sort of does like safety checks and things like that. And then like Guy's brother Nathan and Cluffy, they're usually on the boozer, and they love a bit of banter and that, so they'll shit stir the boys as they're coming out, like, cans in the car, this and that, So no, but like I could rattle names off all day, but they're just like a general consensus. They're always here, like them sort of fellas, and like Chevy usually runs I give him in the morning. He'll run scrutineering. So like he'll get his little group, or like I'll designate people to go with him and sort of put him in charge of checking the cars. And like I still have a look as well, but like it's not just on one person. Like I'll be sort of running around doing other things, and then you sort of put a responsibility on a few other boys, but they know how important it is.
Yep.
Like they know that if we lose it, then that's it. Like that's sort of the responsibility isn't on just one person. It's on a full, every single eye, as you know, like in a workplace, it's the same thing. Yeah. Like safety is everyone's job, but
Step by step progress, mate. What does it take you to run it? Let's say we're getting ready for Burnout Mayhem. What's your step by step to get it?
To get it happening?
Yeah.
I suppose like the first one was a little hard. Being that like, so you can't just step into it. Like it's not a thing. Like you can wet hire an event, I suppose. Like you can go on anywhere. If they already had a team, you can walk in and wet hire it, right?
Yep.
But being that we didn't do that, like and we needed to be trusted, sort of thing, and we worked it up from. We done a few test and tunes, and we done a Nen's birthday bash like 5 years ago, and at that point in time, it was COVID, which was really a helpful thing, because in the eye of the public, we weren't, you know what I mean? So like, there was no one in the crowd.
Yep.
We started off with like 5 cars, just to, get Nen out of the house, do a couple of burnouts, and we all just, whoever had a car in town. Yeah. Because obviously we weren't allowed to travel, but we sort of were allowed to do little events. So in a sense, we had them, and that sort of gave us the progress with the and sort of the confidence with the insurance, I suppose, that we gradually created a bigger event, sort of thing. So every test and tune we done, so we start with 5, then 10, then 20, then 30, then sort of like it sort of give us a grasp on. Like, we were all green, you know what I mean? Like, it wasn't like we know what we're doing. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, we didn't just jump into doing like a huge event or anything. Yeah. It was sort of, we progressed and got bigger. So as we got bigger, we learnt like, sort of, this is how many cars we can get through in an hour. Yeah. So then, you go, all right, we can get 25 to 30 cars through in an hour. And that's reliable cars, believe me. Like this, it could be 10 if they're shit boxes. Like it's, you know what it's like.
If someone throws rods.
If someone throws rods, you got to clean the pad. Like, as you know, there's a lot of running issues that can happen during the day. So we just sort of get bigger, and then I just approached the club, because we were only doing test and tunes and things like that for the first, I think it was like 2 years. Yep. And then I was just like, all right, well, I want to run a big event. Like, and we worked on it, and like there was a fair few people that worked on it, and it was just the thing that I already, like, in the whole sort of scenario of it all, like I write stuff down, and just, you got to sort of, what went wrong, all right, we're not doing that again. Yeah. So you sort of,
there's always rooms for improvement as well.
That's right. So you can't, nothing and no one will ever be perfect. Like, it doesn't matter who you are. Yeah. There's always a better way to do something. But you get to a point where, all right, this is how we're going to do it. And you wouldn't say like, oh, we pulled it off. Like, there was a few hiccups and things like that. Like, things could have been different. But hey, the Burnout Mayhem one was a success. It was huge. Like, it was one of the better shows that we'd done. Like, it was, everyone loved it. Like, it was a long day. It was bloody hot. Like, I think it might have been like 38 degrees, eh? Like, it was
lovely.
It was gnarly, but
I'd like it to be 38 right now.
Instead of like 5 or whatever it is. Like, we're shivering.
Should have just had a little fire there,
we should have just, it's like 5 degrees underneath these clothes. But so from there, we sort of then went to about 4 months later, I think I done an Easter thing.
Yep.
That was pretty cool. And then that became the first Nen's birthday bash where we actually invited people. Yeah. So it went from Burnout Mayhem 1 to then deciding, righto, we're going to do an invite only. and it's only to give back to the people that support us, sort of thing. So I think the first one we had like 30 cars maybe. It was like,
That's still a decent lot of cars.
yeah, but that's just like the immediate people that always came to the test and tunes.
Yeah.
And things like that. So like we had test and tunes where there was like 50 cars, but then we just went through and like it was the people that like supported us from the start.
Yeah.
Nan's favourite friends, you know, like all the people she sort of mingled with and that. So we just turned it into like a day just for her to sort of have fun with all the people that she, you know, got along with. And then that became, it opened our eyes a little bit more because there was so many people that wanted to come, you know. So the next year we done Mayhem 2. It was good. It was wild. We didn't really have as much of a like it was structured. Like there was no, it sort of just went really well.
Yeah.
Like it was a good show, night finals and stuff. Yeah, it was absolute chaos. Like it wait till when you come to one, you'll understand.
Yeah.
Like it's
Oh, we'll be back down in February.
it's going to be, it's this next one's going to be good. I'm going to announce some pretty cool stuff shortly. Like, yeah, there's a bit going on, but then Nan's birthday, the same year, I thought, all right, I'll just open the gates. We ended up with more entrants to Nan's birthday than what we did to the Mayhem 2 event. I think it was like 90 something entrants, 80 cars, like, and it was just fucking nuts, eh? Like it was, we were on our feet, I can tell you. Like, so like just as I said, like it starts off. It's the things that you doubt yourself on sometimes actually end up being a good thing. But with as you say, with the events, like it's not just a 5-minute job. Like if the boys aren't here, it doesn't go ahead. Yeah. Like it's a hard thing. It doesn't matter how many people you organise more. Yeah. Then you get 20 people say, yep, I'm going to be there. 90% of the time you might get half of them. Yeah.
Make sure you have 50.
Yeah, make sure you have too many people.
Yeah.
But in a sense, too many people is probably still good because you have more people to be able to police things. Yeah. They see more. You have people walking through the crowd, obviously, and like through the pits and things like that. You don't want to. You sort of don't want to see kids near hot cars and things like that. Like it.
Have eyes everywhere.
Yeah. And obviously, it's sort of, it doesn't save you because it doesn't matter if an incident happens, it still happens. Yeah. So you just want to avoid any at all. Yeah. You know. Yeah.
If you can avoid it, just eliminate it right there and then.
You just take. You take the. How do you say it?
Roll with punches.
No, you just take it away. Like you before you know it's going to happen, you sort of avoid that situation. You try and make it so that environment isn't there. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Mate, we're out at the pad.
Yep.
It is damn huge, mate.
Yeah.
It's a lot bigger than what I was expecting.
Yeah, a lot of people see it on a lot of people see it on like social media and stuff, and because I think it's the barriers now that make it look small. Yeah. But like the pad's 70 meters long.
It's huge.
Yeah.
Like our cars are right down there.
Yeah. And they still look like there's still plenty of there's real estate around them. You know, like it's not a very small pad. Like everyone thinks, they see a car on it, and the camera's up close, so you sort of can't get a gauge.
There's plenty of room for you to play in the middle of the pad. Come back up here, or if you want to get tricky,
the boys have been coming up here hot.
And party and learn and test your skills. Man, there's some good corners there that you can get into and party out of.
Yeah. But we at the start, there used to just be tyres around this. Yeah. Like down that straight there, it was just a row of tyres like with dirt in them. Yeah. A lot of people hated it because like they'd tip in and snap their exhaust off or whatever. But so this is the sort of thing like that we've been doing. Like nothing gets we're not for profit, so every single thing we do goes somewhere. Like if we have an event, it'll go back into the grounds. Like the barriers, upgrades to the pad, whether it's extending or fixing or whatever, or like we put it into putting poles up or lights or things like that, like back into the machinery, I suppose, upgrade the canine stuff.
Yeah.
Fire extinguishers, that is hectic. Like everyone thinks that's expensive. Like it starts to become expensive. Like but we'll look into obviously other avenues and cheaper things and stuff like that to try and. But it doesn't matter. As fire extinguishers are a running cost.
Yeah.
You can't,
no doubt. Yeah.
You can't not have them.
Yeah.
Like at an event, it probably ends up being probably minimum $1,000.
Yeah, right. Wow.
Like we'll just say that. Like
fire extinguishers everywhere, mate.
that at a
People
big
want 'em.
event, at a big event, $1,000 minimum.
Yeah.
That's how much it costs.
Where's the future for the pad going, mate? Where are you going to take it?
Well, the idea of it is to just, I suppose, keep advancing it. I would like to make the run out the same length as the run in. We'll see what happens. Make it a bit wider.
Yep.
Probably I don't know how you could make it any better, to be honest. Like it's
Man, it looks fantastic. Yeah.
It's a little bit wet and a bit dirty at the moment, but the only thing I probably would really like to do is just put some extra things around it, lights and just things like that. You can't really make it any better. You can only make the environment a different thing. So
Mate, with your events, can we talk a little bit about judging?
Yeah,
mate. What do we judge on?
You can't judge a bloke that can't drive.
True.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Usually it's just it'll depend, I suppose. Like some judges are different, so I talk with them well beforehand.
Yep.
Usually it's just driver skill.
Yep.
Depends on how the field is, to be honest. If you have to, if you can't really now, the driving is the main thing. Like it doesn't matter if you get a wall tap or anything. Like if you're going to DNF someone on a wall tap, then it's sort of, you can't, I don't know, judging is hard, man. Like you can say, all right, well, we're going to deduct you. They'll whinge.
Yeah.
We're going to DNF you. They'll whinge.
Yeah.
So basically we go for the main comps and things like that. It'll be deductions, so reverse, wall tap, stall, any major fire. Yep. Like a little fire, if it goes out, whatever. But if we have to stop you, that's where you sort of finish, things like that. But as I said, it just depends on which judges come.
Yeah.
Like I speak with them beforehand, and if it's easier, like if they see the field and they're like, hey man, like to be able to put it into a fair field and be able to make it work, well, we have to do a DNF system. Like if there's 40 NA cars and it's going to be half a point between them all, things like a DNF or a wall tap might not put them apart. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I understand that.
Like someone's driver skill might be better than their, like your throttle control, whatever, however they do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like
I understand. Yeah.
Their steering might be better than their throttle, or like whatever. You know, I don't judge shows, so I don't. Really.
No,
like I know when there's a good skid though. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I know a good skid when you see one. So
with people wanting to come out here, man, how do they get in contact with you?
LMSC Burnouts on Facebook, or just message me direct, Jared Boyle. Like it's not as hard to get into Burnouts as you think. Yeah. Buy a license, get a shit box, get your NANS VN or whatever. Weld the diff, get it done. Like it's no
scrutineering, mate. What do we need to get out here?
Your car still has to be safe, obviously.
Yep.
Most cars, fire extinguisher.
Yep.
Make sure everything's secure, no oil leaks, starts in park.
Do we need tail shaft loop?
In nearly every Ford, like I'd have a tail shaft loop anyway, but 2-piece tail shafts you don't need to at the moment. Single-piece tail shafts you do. Seat belts have to work, helmets have to be compliant, long clothes. Yep.
With methanol E85 cars, do we need fire suits?
It states if your car needs a fire suit, you have to wear one.
Okay. Yep.
But it states also that long clothes. So it's just obviously on the car. You're not allowed, if you have a back seat with a fuel cell in the boot. It's got to be sealed in properly and things like that. If I had methanol, I'd be running a fire suit. You know, like it's just it's in some cases it's driver's discretion, I suppose, but it just depends on what type of car it is, to be honest.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Sounds good, buddy.
But my information, my understanding of it might be different to someone else's understanding of it, and someone else's track rules might be different to someone else's track rules. You can't ask me what the answers are to every event. You know what I mean? So like it's different everywhere. Yeah. In Sydney, as you say, if you drive anything with petrol, doesn't matter what you've got there. Yeah. You have to have a fire suit. Yeah. You know what I mean? So it's
everywhere's different. Yeah.
Obviously, it's venue discretion and insurance discretion.
Yeah, mate. With the test and tune out here, do people go through the Burnout page to get onto it?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So, same sort of thing.
Yeah. Yep. How many cars are you allowed out here for that?
Whatever. But it'll just depend on, obviously, how many people we're going to have available on a day. Yep. So like if I've only got a few people, I'd probably only have, 40 to 50 cars. Okay. And by a few people, I mean like 10 or 15 people. Like, if we have a lot more people that are keen to come and help, and it honestly, I'd prefer to have a test and tune day. Like I could have like 70 or 80 cars, doesn't matter. Yep. But I'd prefer to have a test and tune day as a test and tune day, where it's 40 cars, you can go on the pad 4 or 5 times. Yep. You don't want to get somewhere to test your car and you've got to wait in line for like 40, 50 minutes or whatever, hour longer, just to get 2 hoops in to get data to drive off. Yeah, I understand. Where with some of the boys, like the blown cars and that, if there's only like 3 or 4 blown cars and that is literally what they're here for, and they drive from the pits, they park here usually, I just let them go on. Like they might do 4 hits like that, and then at the end of the day do a real skid. Like you might. That's the sort of test and tune. Like that's what you should. A proper test and tune. Yeah, proper test and tune. Like if they're here just for that, then that's what they're here for. I'll let them have a little bit of leeway. But if you just came to test and delete tyres, then you just that's what it's for. You just line up like the rest of the boys. But we talked to them at the start of the day about that too. Like we'll give the boys that are actually testing more of a chance just to get it like 20 seconds and drive off. Get some data. Yeah, get some data, cruise off, come back, destroy a set. Work it out that way, Load it up, go home, and then off to a big comp then. And hopefully it all works, because I tested here and I went elsewhere and it didn't work. So it doesn't matter how many times you test, it's just, obviously. It's luck of the draw, really. Yeah. Yeah, that's all. Well, mate, thank you for jumping on the podcast. All good. Muchly appreciated. Love it. Thanks for inviting us out here. Yeah, it's good to see people want to know, I guess. Yeah, mate. Oh, everybody will. Yeah, it's not just that. And don't get me wrong. There is a lot in it. Like, if you're ever going to do it, ask for help. Like it's not just you can't do it by yourself. Always ask for help. Yeah. Whether it be the start off or anything, it's very, very, very time consuming and not a one person job at all. Yeah, there's a lot into it. Yeah, that's for sure.